Hello, everyone. Matt Clark, research analyst with Money Markets here with your Bull and the Bear podcast. If you haven't already, I do want to make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. You're going to find a lot of great features on YouTube with the chief investment strategist, Adam O'Dell, Green Zone Fortune's co-editor, Charles Sizemore, and myself each and every week. So if you have not been to our YouTube channel or you're on there now and aren't subscribed, make sure you go to YouTube, search Money in Markets. When you find us, we got the green Bull and Bear logo. Click that subscribe button, then mash that notification bell so you get notified every time we put out a new video. We've also created a new membership program on our channel. It gives you exclusive insight into the cannabis market. It includes stocks, interviews, and so much more. But now I want to get on with today's podcast. Now, earlier this week, I had the opportunity to sit down with Green Zone Fortune's co-editor, Charles Sizemore, and we talked about the adoption of Bitcoin as a legal tender in El Salvador. This was big news and it made a lot of headlines right after the Labor Day holiday. The Central American nation is essentially the first nation to adopt the cryptocurrency as an accepted form of payment for goods and services. And I asked Charles what he thought this would do to the price of Bitcoin, and it was about $53,000 the day before El Salvador made a Bitcoin legal tender. But none of us really expected a 17% sell-off the day it became real in El Salvador. There's a lot of issues with adoption. The app that the El Salvadorian government used was offline most of the day, created a bunch of issues, and Bitcoin's value plummeted 17% in one day. Now, the point here is that smart investors are always trying to figure out the future price movement of their investments. Every time you look at your stock portfolio or you look at a stock chart, you're trying to figure out, where's this stock going to go? Does this make it a buy? What are the indicators that I can look at that tells me where my stock might be going in the future? Now, the other thing you have to understand is that, cryptocurrency in and of itself is very volatile. I'm going to get to that here in just a second. But what I did do after doing some research is I found a technical indicator that has shown some accuracy in predicting the future price movement of Bitcoin. But again, let me preface all this by telling you that, and we've been telling people this for a long time, is that nobody has a crystal ball. And nobody can see into the future. There are no guarantees. There's just no way I can tell you with 100% certainty that stock X is going to go up X percent by this date. I just can't do it. Nobody can. Anyone who says they can isn't being completely honest with you. But one of the main reasons is it's true for stocks, but it's even more true for cryptocurrency. And it's because they're considered volatile assets. Their price can move up or down on a whim and very fast. We saw this in one day. It dropped 17%. Now, what I did is I looked at the volatility of Bitcoin. Now, it's kind of known more in investment circles as standard deviation. It's kind of a long, drawn-out mathematical equation that I won't get into, but it's one of the most common measures of risks in assets. High volatility is considered 100% or higher. In the chart above that I'm showing you on YouTube, it would be 1. Low volatility is 50% or below, or in the chart that I'm showing you, it is 0.5. Now, Bitcoin's volatility has moved all over the map in the last 12 months, from a low of 0.33 or 33% in October of 2020 to 1.17 or 117% in June of 2021. These wild swings in volatility have a direct correlation in the price of Bitcoin. Not entirely, but it's pretty close. And it makes it very hard to plot the future direction of the cryptocurrency. So when you overlay the price of Bitcoin, which in the chart I'm showing you here is the green line, with its volatility, which is the red line, you can see that the Bitcoin's volatility rises, its price goes down. Not all the time, but it is a little profound to see that it does happen. After the sell-off earlier this week, Bitcoin's volatility went up. Thus, the price went down. And I kept wondering if there was an indicator that could be used to give me some kind of a glimpse into the future when it comes to cryptocurrency and Bitcoin specifically. And what I found was something created by a Twitter user known as Plan B. They developed what's called the Bitcoin stock-to-flow ratio. Now, very simply put, the ratio is the total circulating amount of a commodity or a cryptocurrency. In this case, this would be the stock, divided by the amount of newly produced units of that commodity. This would be the flow. The idea here is that market capitalization of a commodity, and in this case, Bitcoin, has a correlation to the stock to flow ratio of that commodity. And you use that to calculate the predicted market value and further the price of Bitcoin. So I'll show you here. This is the chart. This is as current as I could find, which is as of a couple of days ago. The Bitcoin stock to flow chart dating back to 2010 is shown to be somewhat more accurate than most. Following the May 2020 halving of Bitcoin, which is basically when the stock to flow doubled as the amount of Bitcoin mined was cut in half, the model set a price of Bitcoin at $55,000. Well, it happened a little more than a year later when Bitcoin actually came close to $55,000. And this model suggests the Bitcoin will reach $1 million by 2025. Does that make it so? Of course it doesn't. But as I said, no one has a crystal ball and no one can predict the future with 100% accuracy. None of us are Nostradamus and none of us have that ability. And you have to consider that volatility of cryptocurrencies adds another wrinkle into the whole process because things can move up and move down and they can move so very, very quickly. But this model has done a fairly good job at forecasting long-term price movements, not short-term, but long-term price movements of Bitcoin, and should be considered as one of the many tools that you can use to help you with your cryptocurrency investing. Now, I want to switch gears and take a look at our latest poll on YouTube. Over the last couple of weeks, Chief Investment Strategist Adam O'Dell and I have talked at length about trading and making money with options. Now, we asked if you've traded options before, what was the biggest gain you've had? Now, a majority of those who voted, right around 48%, said they wouldn't touch options with a 10-foot pole, where 25% of you said that they've made gains of more than 100% while trading options. So it's pretty wide spectrum here. And we also asked you guys to tell us how you did. Now, Nicole said, I don't have knowledge to trade options yet, but would love to learn how. Wallen commented, I made $2,760 from a $600 investment. And then Kristen said, made 540% just last week, thanks to Adam O'Dell. Well, thank you to everyone who voted and commented on our poll. We do them every week, so make sure you do check back and vote. To Nicole's point, you're certainly not alone here. Options can seem a little daunting when you're first starting out. But once you get the hang of it, there's a lot, and I do mean a lot of money that you can make in options. And I'm going to encourage you to check out our Ask Adam Anything video series on YouTube for more. I also covered this a little bit. Someone asked me about cannabis options in our marijuana market update a couple of weeks ago, and I talked about it there as well. So check those out on our YouTube channel, and you can find out more. But rest assured, we are going to have a lot more content on options coming up in the near future. We have a lot of great content on our YouTube channel, from Ask Adam Anything to Investing with Charles to the weekly marijuana market update. Don't forget, we've got a new membership program on YouTube dedicated to giving you more insight into the cannabis market. We're looking to expand that and provide more information on other sectors. So now would be a good time to jump in while we roll these things out, and you can take advantage of the things that we're going to be coming up with here in the near future. And all that is on our YouTube channel. If you do have a particular question or a particular stock or sector that you'd like us to take a look at, whether it's Adam, myself, or Charles, email us at feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. We'd love to take a look at what you have to say. If we do use your question, or maybe you video yourself asking a question and send that in, would love to use that. We will send you some cool Money and Markets gear for your efforts. Also, head over to moneymarkets.com and sign up for our free daily e-letter. In it, we give you safe, sound, smart, simple, profitable investment information for your portfolio each and every day. And you get that daily e-letter sent to your inbox for free. Until next time, this is Money Markets research analyst and host of the Bull and the Bear podcast, Matt Clark, wishing everyone safe trading.